Introducing the heroes. Dangerless. Dangerless is the head of Hero World. Dangerless will keep people from getting themselves into danger. Freezer. Freezer is Dangerless's partner. Freezer will also help people from getting themselves into danger. One strategy she uses is she will freeze somebody and will ask them, "Would God want you to do this?" Jealousness. Jealousness, the next superhero, helps people get over their jealousy. Jealousness is also Freezer's favorite. Pinky. Pinky, another superhero. When she touches anything, it will turn pink and they will be happy. Fearless. Fearless is another superhero who will help people get over their fears. Water Girl. Water Girl can turn anything she wants into water, even people. The only people she can turn into water, though, are bad guys. She can also make floods to destroy anything that is bad. Safety. Safety will help kids stay safe so they don't hurt themselves or so they don't get themselves into trouble. Snowy. Snowy, another superhero, will turn everything into snow whether she is happy or mad. Toothbrush. Toothbrush will save kids from rotting their teeth. Glitter Girl. Glitter Girl uses her superhero powers for good and bad things. She can use it to make people happy, which is good, but also she can use it to shoot glitter in someone's eyes or something. Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat mainly saves people's cats, but she helps people too. Sunshine. Sunshine is the nicest superhero ever. She will give you flowers and she can make the sun shine on a rainy day. Icy. Icy, the next superhero, will turn everything into ice when she walks. When she is mad, she can shoot ice out of her hand. Introducing the villains. X-Finny. X-Finny, who is a captain villain, lives in Villain World and has been trying to destroy the heroes and Hero World for about 50 years now. Lava Men. Lava men can shoot lava anywhere out of their body, and they live in Villain World. Z-Fly. Z-Fly is X-Finny's wife. She used to be a superhero, but X-Finny tricked her into marrying him, and then she became a villain. Dr. Scuttle. Dr. Scuttle is an evil scientist who works for X-Finny. He makes evil potions. He also made the soda that lets X-Finny control everyone on Earth who drank this soda. Dr. Scuttle has a very important job and is very good at it. Previously, at the end of X-Finny Strikes Again. "What is it?" questioned Freezer. But before Jealousness could ask her the question, he stuck a bow in her leg. But the bow didn't make her bleed. It made her listen to whatever Jealousness was going to say. So he asked her, "Come to Villain World with me," Jealousness told Freezer. "Okay, I will come with you," Freezer replied. "No!" Dangerless shouted. Now for the second story of the most dangerous mission, saving Freezer. So then Freezer and Jealousness flew away to Villain World. What Freezer doesn't know is that Jealousness wants her to turn into a villain with him. When they finally arrive to Villain World, Z-Fly and X-Finny are standing outside waiting for them. The arrow that Jealousness shot into Freezer wears off in about an hour, so he had to use a knockout gas that would keep her asleep for hours. "Welcome home, son," X-Finny said, giving Jealousness a hug. "I'm glad to be back," he responded. Jealousness gave his mom and dad a hug. Then they took Freezer to the science lab where their evil scientist worked. "Ah, what do we have here?" Dr. Scuttle, the evil scientist, asked. "This is Freezer. She is—" Jealousness started to say until his father interrupted him. "Was," X-Finny shouted. Okay, Jealousness began to say again, "Freezer was a hero at Hero World, and we want you to turn her into an evil villain." Jealousness told Dr. Scuttle. "Okay," Dr. Scuttle began to say. "Where am I?" Freezer asked. "What did you do?" X-Finny shouted at Jealousness. "Don't worry, I got this," Dr. Scuttle said, pulling out a shot that had a needle that was a mile long. Then Freezer was out again. "Whew, that was a close one," Z-Fly said in relief. So then, Z-Fly, X-Finny, left Dr. Scuttle to do his work. Back in Hero World, there was a lot going on. I want everyone to pray for Freezer, Dangerless began to tell the heroes, and to get ready because we're going to Villain World to save Freezer. Dangerless told all the heroes. Mwahaha, mwahaha, hack, hack. Dr. Scuttle began to laugh. She is complete, Dr. Scuttle said, throwing his arms up in the air and laughing evilly. Freezer was very transformed. She now had black hair, but had one blue streak that Dr. Scuttle could not get rid of. She had big gray eyes that looked like the moon. He had gave her another shot that made her not a good girl. Now that he gave her that shot, she was a villain, and that could never change unless someone invented a shot that would turn her back into a hero, and no one could do anything like that besides Dr. Scuttle. Ah, well done, Jealousness said with an enormous grin on his face. Now we must come up with a new name for her, Jealousness said, searching through his brain for a good name for her. Freezer will do, Jealousness said mischievously. I thought that was her name before, Dr. Scuttle questioned, scratching gray and half-bald hair. It still works, Jealousness snapped. Now what? Dr. Scuttle questioned. Wardrobe, Z-Fly said, entering the lab. What does that have to do with anything? Dr. Scuttle asked. Well, Jealousness began to say, she can't look like a hero on missions. She has to look like a villain so nobody can recognize her. Ah, I get it, Dr. Scuttle responded. So when they finished transforming Freezer, she definitely looked like a villain, and you could not tell that she was a hero or even Freezer before. She had on a black tight tank top with a blue lightning bolt that shined in the middle of her tank top. She had on blue glove type things that would help her fight and hit better than she would with her normal hands. She had on blue type pants with long black boots. Wow, she looks great, Jealousness exclaimed. Job well done, Z-Fly, he told his mom in awe. Thank you, Z-Fly responded in acceptance. Later that day, while the rest of the villains were working on getting a huge and Freezer's first mission ready, Freezer hung out with a bunch of villains that haven't graduated from villain school. They taught her a lot of new things. They also taught her things about being a villain and what to do on missions. Freezer, let's go now. You have your first mission, Z-Fly yelled from miles away. Freezer ran super fast to Z-Fly and was there in seconds. When they got back to the headquarters, X-Finny and Jealousness were waiting for both the girls. All right, so here's the plan. X-Finny began to tell them all. Freezer, Jealousness, and Z-Fly, you all are going to planet Earth. Freezer, you are going to freeze people. Then Jealousness is going to give them a drink, which then I will be able to control them and their actions. Then Z-Fly is going to unfreeze them. Also, I am staying here because the heroes from Hero World are going to try and stop our plans. Then I am going to trap them, and we will take over the world. Mwahahaha, mwahahaha, mwahahaha. X-Finny began to laugh mischievously. Well, are you going to go or just sit there? X-Finny shouted, pointing them in the direction that they should be going in. Yes, sir, they all said at the same time, running outside to their spacemobile that would take them to the planet Earth. Back in Hero World, it was as busy as the North Pole on Christmas. I want everybody ready to go in 5 minutes, Dangerless said, scattering everywhere to get ready for their biggest mission ever. Pinky exclaimed, I'm ready. I second that, Glitter Girl said immediately after Pinky. Then, soon, everybody was shouting that they were ready also. Then, without doing anything else, they flew straight to Villain World to do what they were expected to do, which was save Freezer, when a lot more was heading for them. Then they had finally arrived to Villain World, and without planning anything, they went straight to the Villain World headquarters. Ah, look who we got here, X-Finny said mischievously. Some of my closest friends. Where is she? Glitter Girl shouted. Where is who? X-Finny said, tapping on his chin mischievously. You know who we're talking about. Now where is she? Water Girl shouted at him. Tell us where Freezer is, Pinky finally shouted. Ah, you're talking about Freezer, Xfinny started to say. I'm sorry to say, but Freezer's not home. But go ahead and make yourselves comfy. She'll be back soon, Xfinny told all the heroes mischievously. Liar, Sunshine shouted back at him. We thought we would do this the nice way, but not anymore, Fearless told Xfinny. Oh, really? Xfinny responded as he got an enormous grin on his face. Then all the heroes started to run after Xfinny until... Ah! All the heroes shrieked breathlessly. They were all trapped in a cage hanging from the ceiling. Let us go! Water Girl screamed at the top of her lungs. Now why should I do that? Xfinny said, mischievously grinning. Guys, it's okay, Icy began to say. We all still have our powers. We can figure it out, Icy tells the heroes. Unless I turn them off, Xfinny interrupted on their conversation. You can't do that, Safety said with confidence. But what you didn't know, Xfinny began to tell them, is that Z-Fly used to be a hero at Hero World until she came to join us in Villain World, and she knew the passcode to the control system because she made the Hero of Fame wall, so they gave her the passcode. So now we control all of your powers. Then Xfinny began to laugh very evilly. Then he hit a red button. That's when all the heroes went breathless. When the floor opened up, there was a huge open shark tank full of thousands of hungry sharks. Now, what are we going to do? Sunshine cried out. All we can do is pray, Dangerless responded with worry written all over his face. Back on Earth, many things were happening. Freezer, now! Z-Fly would tell Freezer. Then Freezer would freeze them, and Jealousness would feed them a drink, and Z-Fly would unfreeze them. Oh, no! Z-Fly shouted. What's wrong? Freezer and Jealousness asked at the same time. There is something wrong going on in the lab, and they need our help. Z-Fly screams at the top of her lungs, and all the veins in her body are popping out. They flew all the way back to Villain World. When they all got there, they were horrified. What happened? Z-Fly screamed. Well, we caught the heroes, and Dr. Scuttle was going to knock them out with knockout gas and turn them into evil. But we dropped the evil liquid on the control system, and it caught on fire, Xfinny tells them. Is everybody okay? Freezer asked. Does it look like I care if anybody's okay? No, I just want my control system fixed, he yells at her with a bright red face. Dad, calm down. We'll fix it, Jealousness says. As Freezer, Z-Fly, Xfinny, and Jealousness are all walking into the lab, they walk right past the heroes. Freezer! Freezer! They all began to shout at her. Ugh, heroes, Freezer replies. Then they go and fix the control system. When they fix the control system, Xfinny is about to do something very bad. He grabbed a remote that would release all the heroes into the shark tank. Is there anything you would like to say? Xfinny asks. Freezer, no matter what, God will always love you, and we will too, but you need to think. You're under Xfinny's power. You need to ask God into your heart and ask Him for forgiveness for all that you've done. You're the one that left with Jealousness. That's all. Dangerless says, hoping it will change Freezer's mind and that she will save them. Why didn't you stop me? Freezer asks, confused. Well, that's what we're doing. We're trying to save you. Come on, Freezer, snap out of it. You know so much better, Glitter Girl told her. Well, you're too late, Freezer shouts. You were under Jealousness' power. When he asked you, there was nothing we could do, Dangerless told Freezer. Just hit the button, Z-Fly and Jealousness both shout. Then suddenly, Freezer's eyes started to lighten up. Xfinny's finger was practically on the button when... No, stop! Freezer shouts. Now what? Xfinny asks. I am a hero. That's the job God gave me, Freezer shouts. Then she does this ninja kick and hits Xfinny, Jealousness, and Freezer in the face. Then all the heroes start cheering. Then Freezer runs into the control system and turns all their powers on and demolishes the control system. Then Freezer runs to where the heroes are, and she freezes the water. Then she hits the button, and all the heroes are safe. "Oh, thank you," Icy shouts with joy. "Now let's go save everybody on Earth," Water Girl shouts. Then they all saved everybody, and they went back home to Hero World to celebrate. The end. Also collect H. Madison's first book, X Finney Strikes Again.